Hey everybody, Ben here from Snipit Studios, and I'm back with another How to Be an Artist. I think it's part 8, not positive. But my tips today are avoiding stagnation or just stale art. So the longer and longer you work as an artist, whether that be an aspiring artist, just a hobbyist artist, or a creative professional, you will find that at a certain point, your work starts to feel stale. It starts to feel like you aren't getting anywhere, you're not really improving on anything you're doing, and you reach the point where, like, you know what, all this work, all I've been doing, kind of all looks about the same. So, okay, what do you do with this? A lot of times, like, you're trying to wait it out, but it's not working. And this is actually something, I would say in recent years, it's something I've hit a lot more often. It's a struggle I've been trying to get past, and it's one of those things where it's like, well, how do you do that? How do you get past art that feels stale? It's like I'm just doing the same rocks and the same types of landscapes and the same perspective over and over and over again in my paintings. And granted, yeah, I'm making new stuff that still looks cool and still looks original, but I don't feel like I'm getting anywhere with it. So I thought of sort of two main tips, and one definitely more important than the other. First is something I mention a lot, and it's try new media and try different media. I'm kind of at the point now where I've been doing sort of the same routine a lot, and I need to dig through my art supplies since I seem to collect a lot of them quite often. I need to dig through them and use something I haven't used in a long time. I'm thinking, for me, quite possibly like charcoal or oil pastels, since those are two that I tend to not touch very often. And in doing so, in sort of the same sort of maybe scribbly techniques you do to kind of get ideas, you can maybe find some new ideas within that. At the same time, I'm about due to go back to my basics, and that's a thing that, again, I feel like it's a little repetitive for me to say again, but I think right now, for me, it's something that I think is going to avoid me making continually more stale and stagnant seeming artwork. Going back to your basics is something that every artist should do. For me, I would say every couple of years, once you kind of know them. If you don't know what your basics are, primarily the fundamentals, the elements and principles of design, go learn those. Because they're kind of important. They pertain to really any art you're going to make, whether that be a two-dimensional piece, a three-dimensional piece. It also, a lot of that plays into things, not necessarily fine art, but they play into music and film a little bit as well. Maybe not so much color and value into music, but you know what I'm talking about, like composition and dynamics and stuff. But that idea of going back to your basics is a really important thing. And I think it's the most important thing to keep yourself from getting into this point of stagnation. The point of saying, I'm just doing the same thing over and over again. So, well, when's the last time you really did a still life, or an apple study, or a figure study, or gesture drawing, or anything that kicks you back to your fundamentals? So I'm kind of planning this out in my head right now. I've got a project for probably about 6 months from now. That one will be sort of a video tutorial project, but will also be a way for me to kind of kick myself back a little bit. And I think that's the point I'm really trying to get at here today. It's the sort of the big tip to avoid stagnation and how to really be a good artist. And that's that you're not afraid to kick it back a few steps. You can't be afraid of your basics on any level. You never outgrow them. And that's the thing, I feel like it's almost cliched at this point because every artist says you never outgrow your basics, and you don't, though. Every painting I do, every tutorial that I do, every tip, every trick, every thing that I do for this channel and just for my own creative outlets and career-wise, everything kicks back to the basics. It's like, what can I do with shape in this piece? What can I do with color in this piece? I don't necessarily always say it in the videos, but it's something I think about every single time, and it's so vitally important. So for me, and hopefully for you guys too, if you're in this point where you're like, you know what, my art doesn't feel super great right now, I don't feel like I'm making any progress, go back to your basics. Do some studies, do some lessons. I've got a free how to draw ebook for this very reason. Honestly, I'm probably going to go back to my own book for myself, just to teach myself something again. I'm like, oh yeah, what's a little project I can do here on the side? It's all really important, valuable stuff that when you're feeling stuck, when you're feeling stale with your work, go back to your basics again and do stuff again, and maybe go back to your basics with a different media. Go back to your basics with something you haven't picked up for a while, or maybe something you've never picked up before. And I can pretty much guarantee you that you're going to come out a better artist after that point. But in terms of getting there, in terms of the right here and right now, it's frustrating, and I get it. I'm fairly frustrated with my own work right now, because I'm at that point. I'm like, I gotta find a way to push the boundaries and take this to the next level. How do I do that? Think backwards, and then push yourself forwards again. So, for more videos like this, be sure to subscribe to the channel here on YouTube. Consider supporting me on Patreon, because, you know, extra money helps, and ads aren't the best way to support videos anymore. Subscribe for more. I think I said that already, and this has been from Snipit Studios, and I'll see you guys next time. And, oh, there's a bunny in my yard. Hey, bunny. You're really not afraid of me there, are you? Just hanging out. Eating stuff in my grass. You should probably move, though. I need to record this. Might be a good idea. I do appreciate you trimming my grass, though. It's always nice.